Hey guys, and welcome back to Runway from the Rav, a Project Runway podcast. My name is Riley.
And I'm Maggie.
And today we'll be discussing Season 16, Episode 6, Models Off Duty. Should I say, hashtag Models Off Duty.
Probably. Social media spin.
That's on brand. So today's, this episode's challenge was that the models were their client, and they needed to make a streetwear look that then they'd have professionally photo shoot done of it, and then they'd be posting it to the models' social media pages using hashtag models off duty. And then the models, the kind of twist this time, well, I'll get to that. Hold on. So the episode opens and the models are having a brunch, like a rooftop New York City brunch with Tim Gunn, teach him how to take selfies and stuff. And they're taking a ton of selfies. Like, there wasn't really, I didn't notice like a cell phone sponsor, but they were just using a lot of selfies. And they taught Tim Gunn how to do a selfie.
Yeah.
And then as Heidi is just like talking to the group of designers, she like a producer runs over and is like, Heidi, Tim's blowing up your phone. And she's like on the runway and she's like, oh, he sent me a selfie. I'll send some back. And I was like, what year is it? I'm sorry, but selfies are not a 2017 new thing. Selfies have been around for almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
Whenever the front-facing camera was invented for phones, selfies have existed since photography, even since painting. But in today's definition.
MySpace is my earliest memory.
Yeah.
There weren't really hashtags then, but...
MySpace? Wow, you're really old.
I know.
The kids love MySpace. So at this brunch, the designers then go crash it. And it turns out that the models get to pick the designer this time. So normally it's, they'll do it by button bag or something and assign it. But this time the models were picked by button bag and then they got to pick. So it's kind of like, being picked last in gym class. And we'll get to who was picked last in a second. But, so it was a $200 at Mood, 1-day challenge, where the model is the client. So this season we've had a lot of insight into what the models feel, with the mirror kind of thing. But this is the first challenge where they are truly, the designer is going to make something for the model. Obviously with still their own twist, vision. But, so that was this challenge. What did you feel about the challenge?
I didn't think it was very exciting, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I don't feel like I have a ton to say about this, and if anything, I've got 3 quotes of the week.
Yeah.
That's not,
It's not a lot compared to...
Yeah, last week I had 2 pages of quotes, and this week I've got 3.
Yeah, we were discussing offline that we hope, or I don't know, what do you say, off recording? I don't know, doesn't matter. That we hope this isn't the Real Woman Challenge.
I will be disappointed if it was, because while these models are size inclusive, they're all still relatively young, they're all beautiful, and they're all in their own way shapely or svelte or what, so it's not like dressing random people off the street. I like those ones, or the ones where they bring in their moms or sisters or friends. It's just a little different than you're all dressing, super tall, beautiful models of various sizes. But so I hope we still get a Real Woman Challenge later on. It will seem similar to this one, though, just because, having the client. But that's the reality of being a designer. I mean, and when you get to be a bigger name designer, your client could be, a big celebrity or something who they're going to be picky. So, or I assume they will be. So that was this challenge, Models Off Duty. And they really played up the social media aspect a lot in the beginning. Luckily, that kind of faded off. Yeah. And then at the end, when they did the runway, I'll just mention this so I don't forget, they also showed the professional photo shoot, the best picture. And as somebody who used to watch America's Next Top Model, I did like that a little bit because I liked seeing the clothes actually outside. And since it was a streetwear challenge, seeing it on the streets of New York with the models with their attitude, it's a little different than the runway. I kind of wish they did that every day. That they took the clothes outside in the light of sun. Some would burn. Aaron's look last week probably would have melted in the light of day. But it was just, I don't know, I kind of liked that idea of it, seeing that picture as they came down the runway. So, I guess we'll get to the workroom?
Yeah.
It's been a couple episodes, but they really played up the twins helping each other. Now, I feel like at the beginning of the season, it was a lot of Claire helping Sean. And then I feel like the last few, like maybe 2 episodes, it's been the other way around. Where it felt, to me at least, that Claire was asking Sean for help. But then this episode, it went back to like, at least the way it was edited, that Sean was constantly, one more question, Claire, one more, indeed, Claire, one more question. Like, needed help sewing a waistband, needed help with pockets. Obviously, I think last episode, Claire was asking a lot of help for her dress, because it was like the Disney kind of dress, and I think the one before that, she had a lot of problems with her top as well, so they definitely help each other. But this episode alone made it look like it's mostly Sean getting help from Claire. And Claire even mentioned it in her talking head that, you know, she sacrifices some of her own work time to help Sean and how it's a struggle. Obviously, all of the other designers since episode 1 have been feeling this. I think Kenya said, this is not a quote of the week, but I believe that she said, like, she was struggling a bit this week to get everything done because it was the 1-day challenge again. And she was like, we don't all have a sister on the show. And it's like, ooh. That's right. So, we will get to a bit of a little bit of drama that happened after the runway about the twins, but I think we'll leave that for now. Otherwise, in the workroom, and I'll get to who the models picked when we get to the runway. Otherwise, we'll be listing the same group of people like 3 times. So, but Kentaro had the same model from last week who spoke Japanese, and they were really meshing well. And when Tim came in to do his critiques, he brought the models with him so that he could kind of hear from both of their opinions, which was good.
Yep.
In the workroom, anyway, everybody seemed to be getting along. A couple of the models were like, it's not quite what I wanted, but I have faith. Because all the models are so sweet and are like, oh, I hope, you know, I believe in them. And it's like, some designers deserve that. Maybe not everyone, but it's nice of them to have that kind of opinion. And, but there was not really any drama other than the twins. It's always the twins.
Yeah.
We saw, again, almost nothing of Botany or Amy.
Yeah.
Very little of Michael compared to last week. Obviously, when you win or lose, they show more. We saw Brandon make a phone call to his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And saw a little bit of emotion from him there, and then he went right back into work. Otherwise, there wasn't a whole lot. It's just the twins, which, as somebody who, I'm not here, we bring up the drama because it's television and our podcast is all inclusive. Beat by beat. But that's not why I watch the show. I watch the show for the fashion and for the drama of, like, time crunch or fabric issues, like last week with Kenya. That was interesting to me. How, if you only have 3 yards, how can you make a whole, like, 2-piece suit?
Right.
I don't know, but she did it and it looked pretty good. Not my favorite. Better than I can make. You know, so, do you have any insights from the...
Nope. Once again, didn't write down any, like, moments in the workroom.
Some workrooms are more interesting than others. This time it was pretty much just the twins running around, their talking heads about each other, people being annoyed. You know, I guess the producers must really like that, or it's leading up to a bigger allegation of cheating or something that we've seen some teasers in like, next time on Project Runway. At the beginning of the season, I think, episode 1, they had some, like, boom, 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 like Tim Gunn being like, I need to bring something up. So I guess they're just trying to lay that foundation so that the viewers aren't like, what? I never saw that. So I don't know. I wish we spent a little less time on that. And now that we have fewer designers, we got to see more from everyone, not from the same 5 designers. It'd be nice to hear more from Amy or Botany, you know. It would just... because they tend to make some cool things and we get them for like 30 seconds when they're talking to Tim and then nothing else. So,
right.
But otherwise, I don't, and mood visit, Swatch was just laying down, spread out. That was it. No.
Yeah.
And everybody seemed to find fabric okay, you know, maybe some, you know, interesting color choices, but we'll get into that.
The mood visits on these episodes, they're not nearly as exciting as they used to be in, like, past seasons.
I feel like
it used to be more of, like, a crunch, like, you had to fit your budget, and, like, it would, like, you know, have footage of them at the cashiers, like, as they're, like, racking up their totals, and they're, like, standing there anxiously, like, oh my god, can I borrow money from you, or, you know,
that's right,
things like that.
Or, like, putting stuff back, and
then also, like, it was more focused on like the deadline too. Like it seemed like it was way more frantic back in the day, where they're like, you have 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and it'd be like a timer of people like rushing, and you had to be checked out by then or be at the register.
Right.
But now it's just kind of like, I'm just gonna kind of casually shop.
Yeah, they'll show like one or two people like running up the stairs, but like otherwise people are just like...
It's not that
And they
hectic.
only have 30 minutes, and they like make a point of that, and then Tim at the end is like, time's up, but you just see people with like handfuls of cash at the like register. Like, yeah, see, that's the kind of drama I liked though, was people like being like, oh my gosh, I have to put stuff back, or yeah, like bargaining with other people, like, will you buy my zippers for me, or something, you know? Yeah.
None of that.
Making me pine for the old days now. Our guest judges this week were Georgina Chapman, and she's usually on All Stars.
I love her.
I like her insights quite a bit. And then Kelsey Ballerini, a musical artist.
I think she might be a country artist.
Okay, that's probably why I've never heard of her.
I'm not sure.
I think that was a bit of a missed opportunity there. Most recently, the challenges, the like, guest judge has either been like in the movie or it was Heidi's collection.
Somehow.
Yeah, so I'm like, I wish they would have either had like a streetwear designer or like maybe someone who just is known for their really cool street style. I mean, this girl's pretty and had a few insights, but didn't strike me as someone walking down New York City with a really cool kind of vibe, or someone who, or even like, while I didn't like it, I think in either last season or the season before, they had like a vlogger or like blogger like on there. If they had like a streetwear blogger or like a hip New York City kind of blogger person, this could have been the chance, because it's kind of the or maybe like a model other than Heidi Klum. I don't know. Is Georgina Chapman a model as well?
Probably.
She could be. She's pretty people. They are pretty people on the show. But, or have like a model who's kind of known for, you know, I don't know.
Yeah. Kelsey, nice, but didn't really connect at all.
Yeah, seemed like an odd fit. Yeah, kind of odd. So, first up we had Kentaro, and he had his model Misha. She picked him, and he put down this like white kind of kimono styled crop top with these brown, he called them hakama pants. Which I'm not, it's a
Japanese
style,
thing,
yeah. And then he had like these denim leg warmers, like up past the knee, and then the brown pants kind of came over that, and then it had like a black kind of sash belt. What did we think of Kentaro's?
I really liked it. I think this is my favorite thing that he's made so far. I just thought it was like really interesting, and to me it definitely read as like street, and she seemed to really like it too.
She did. They seem to vibe really well together. The more we get to see of Kentaro, the more I really like his personality. Yeah. At first, I just liked his looks. And this is the first look he's made that wasn't black that I still felt was like elevated and kind of like a higher level of design. And it still looks like fun streetwear fashion. And I like that he played with, because Misha speaks Japanese, and he does too, that they kind of blended that culture in with American culture, so that was cool. Yeah. He was chosen for critique in the top. Next up we had Claire, and her model, it's pronounced Sean, but it is spelled a different way than her twin Sean, so don't be confused. And Claire was actually chosen last at the model brunch.
That's right,
Yep, so Sean was picked like several people before her, and then Claire was last. And model Sean actually worked with Claire last challenge and didn't really want to work with her again. But they both kind of saw it as like, oh, we can redeem ourselves, and we'll see if they did or not. So she put down this like black, I'm going to call it slouchy, sweatshirt with like a zip shoulder that was unzipped, and then paired it with these black peplum shorts with like a blue kind of athletic stripe. Pretty short shorts. What did you think of Claire's?
Well, I mean, more shorts. It's just shorts every single week.
She just got flack for the shorts last week and made shorts again.
I don't know. I just think it's kind of boring. I didn't think it was like badly made or anything, but there's just not a lot to it. Like, it's all black. I mean, yeah, she put a stripe on it, but big whoop. It's just shorts again. Shorts and a sweatshirt, basically.
Can I just say, I never want to say the statement peplum shorts again in my life. I just don't. I would like either one of these pieces maybe with something else of a different color.
Mm-hmm.
I think by styling her model with like a top knot bun, this just looks like this is what you wear to like Walmart.
Yeah.
This doesn't look like New York City streetwear, high fashion.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like, you know, here's my comfy sweater and like some jeans that like, or shorts that look like they're inside out. I'm going to Walmart. It's like 2 a.m. I need some like munchy food or something. Like, not impressed.
Mm-hmm.
She was chosen for critique in the bottom, so the judges agree with us. Next up, we had Ayana. We didn't hear much from her this week either.
No.
And her model was Lena, or Lena. I'm not sure how they pronounce it. And she put down this like navy kind of V-neck little dress with stars on it. And then it had like a strappy kind of open back. And then she paired it with what I will call a blush satin robe.
Yeah.
What do we think of Ayana's?
I think she tried to like pass that off as an overcoat, but yeah, it definitely
Satin.
looks like a robe.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, like, this was okay. I guess I didn't really get it. I didn't really love the stars. Like, to me, that was really like literal and like in your face, like.
Yeah, she was like, oh, my model likes stars. So she cut out like 2-inch across star patterns and sewed them on. And Tim Gunn was like, they look like stickers. And Ayana like didn't seem troubled by that.
No. She was just like, okay.
Yeah.
And then there they are. And I don't know. I mean, the dress is fine. I really don't understand the like robe coat thing, but I guess I do like the color that it brings into the look overall, but not my favorite. What do you think?
This is maybe the first streetwear challenge in like a billion seasons where we didn't have people with really big oversized jackets. Like last season, I feel like was the season of jackets. The All-Stars before that was the season of jumpsuits. And this season, I think we have like one jacket coming up later on, like a bomber jacket. But I just remember like last season we had so many streetwear designers and they all put down like these oversized jacket things. Like Brandon's kind of known for that. We'll get to that. He didn't even make one. This was like one of like, I think like 2 jackets and it's a robe. This looks like it was meant for the Heidi Klum challenge. Yeah. Was it Amy last week who also made like a night
She
look?
did the silver
Yeah,
robe.
so this is just like, it looks like she's borrowing her grandma's robe because someone knocked on the door and she's in like a party dress. But the dress just doesn't look very, like, I kind of like it from the back, but the front, the stars are, like you said, they're too literal. And it's very simple. It's just a simple dress that's not edgy. The stars take away any type of, like, glamour and look childlike, like the ones you'd stick on your ceiling that glow in the dark. Like, that's what they look like to me. And then she paired it with, like, her grandma's robe. She was safe somehow.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Next up, we have Michael, who worked with Lyris. She picked him, and they worked together last challenge as well. And I think that's why she picked him, because he put her in a garment that she rocked and actually accentuated her body, whereas most other designers have not been doing that for her. And he put down, I think it's like a slate gray blue dress with like this blue ripped, I can only describe it as ripped, detail along the thighs and then in between the breasts, and then like it's kind of an off the shoulder thing with like blue, I don't know, like banding kind of across the shoulder. What did we think of Michael's?
I was like a little disappointed, like coming down from last week, because last week I was really impressed and I really liked the look. And like, of course, the Lyris, you know, she rocked this week, and it didn't look like bad. It just, I don't know, it wasn't my favorite. I'm not a fan of the like slashing detail. Like when he was in the workroom, he said like he was struggling with it and was like, I don't like this. It looks very, he used the word ratchet.
He did.
And like, I mean, I know exactly what he means by that. And like, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of that look. Like he definitely classed it up because like it looked like he did sew that. It wasn't like it was just like a raw cut edge or something that was like curling like a t-shirt would. Like he actually finished the edges and stuff and made it look very intentional, but I don't know. Not my favorite. What do you think?
I agree. I think maybe it would have looked better in a different color. I like blue, but the like electric blue paired with that darker kind of bluey gray, it's not elevating anything for me. And then that treatment to the top and to the legs is like what people used to do to t-shirts.
Yeah.
They'd like cut up on the sides and tie it together, and then they like cut the back or the front so it'd like drape in these little like ragged cuts, and that was fashion.
Yeah.
When I was in like high school, or I bet there's like, I don't know. I feel like this is something like Ed Hardy's shirts look like.
Yes.
I don't know what his shirts look like, but I assume this is what they look like.
Probably.
But he was safe.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Brandon, and he won last challenge, so he had immunity this time. And his model was Colleen. And he made this like tan, kind of oversized in ways, but still a crop top.
Mm-hmm.
Now the crop top, that he put over top of like a yellow, it's like a cape in the back, but in the front, it's, so, I don't know, it's a really asymmetrical yellow thing. I can't quite tell because it's under the tan if it's like a little jacket or what, I don't know. And then he paired that with these white kind of wide leg pants that he dyed himself, but it looks like, again, smoker curtains. But please tell me what you think.
Yeah, the pants immediately just read like dirty. Like they just, it's not appealing. Like the look as a whole is not very appealing to me. Like I guess I just don't get it. Like I don't get Brandon's work very much. And like I don't like all the browns. I don't feel like he listened to his model at all.
No, she wanted something like kind of a 70s, like retro vibe.
He's like, okay, here's all this brown, which
brown
are like
and yellow.
70s colors, I guess, maybe.
But
like,
not the fun ones. She was
no.
wearing like a floral, like bright yellow kind of top.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, okay, you want brown? Here you go.
And it's just like, yeah, it's completely shapeless. Another crop top. It's just weird layers of brown with like dirty brown white underneath. Like, it just, I don't know. Like, do you feel like, so let's just jump and say that he was safe for the week. Like, do you feel like that had to do with like his immunity for the week?
I think in part, but normally if they're really on the fence with something, they will be like, you're safe, but be careful. But they've been eating his stuff up, so they probably loved it.
Okay.
They've been eating his stuff up. Like, I believe Kentaro was telling his model that he wanted her to look like kind of like easygoing and like kind of homeless, in the fact that like the clothes would be like kind of casual. She did not look homeless. She looked super like on fleek. Yeah. As the kids say, as the selfie kids say. But this looks homeless to me.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. It's a lot of layers. It's a lot of different lengths, and then it's all oversized and all like the sleeves cut at different spots, and it's also off the shoulder, but then it's also like kind of ragged in the front, but then it also has these like dirty stained pants, but then it also has a cape in the back, and then he paired it with like a messy top knot. It's just like, where is she going? What street is she walking down? No.
I don't get it.
I don't get it. But he was safe. But yeah, it's hard to say if it's because he had immunity or not. But normally, because it's Project Runway, Heidi likes to cheekily say, but be careful, you would have been in the bottom.
Yeah.
Like, she usually likes to, but maybe they loved it. I don't know. But he wasn't in the top, otherwise he would be someone they could have win twice in a row.
That's
so
true.
I'm guessing maybe he was lower. I hope for my sanity he was lower and they just let him slide by.
Yeah.
Next up, we had Sean, and her motto was Janine, and they both were wearing very similar outfits. They were both wearing navy and black, and Janine picked Sean because of Sean's personal style. Not because of anything Sean's made, necessarily, but because of Sean's personal style. And that's probably why she got picked slightly before Claire, because Sean's a little edgier. You can tell because she shaved her head. Edgy. Yeah. So they decided to make a navy and black piece, which is what they were both wearing already. And she, as Margarita said, shamelessly basically recreated those outfits and put them together. Yeah. So what she put down was like this like navy kind of top, crop top with an off the shoulder, but then it still has like little sleeves underneath that with some black lace detail. And then these cropped, kind of wide leg though, navy pants with a black like tuxedo stripe. What did we think of Sean's?
I mean, at least this was like something new from her. Like, there were no shorts.
No shorts. And she wanted to do full-length pants. And it was Janine who suggested cropped pants, so.
So, like, this was something new for Sean. But, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of on Margarita's side. Like, it was, like, strange that, yeah, it did seem to just be a combo of their existing outfits.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I don't know, just looking at it personally, I guess, like, it just wasn't my favorite. The judges liked it because they thought it photographed really well for, like, the social media stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it did. It did look good there. But, I don't know, when it came down the runway, I wasn't very impressed. What do you think?
The judges also liked the back because it tied together with, like, black, like, kind of ribbons of the shirt. I liked this, but that's because it's a little my style as well. And the model obviously felt comfortable in it and really rocked it. And the model's got pretty sweet abs, so the crop top's working for her. And out in the city, it looked good. It doesn't feel super streetwear to me, just because it's all, like, the same kind of fabric. It's a little matchy-matchy. I feel like more people with streetwear are going to wear, like, a different kind of textured pant. I'm thinking of, like, or, like, denim or something like that. But it's fine. It's nothing super unique. Obviously, they were both wearing a derivative, outfit already. But she was chosen for critique in the top, which, yeah. Next up, we had Margarita, and she was working with Christina. And they seem to be getting along really, really well. But we'll get to that in a bit. So what she ended up putting down was white, loose pants, but tight at, like, the body, but then loose on the leg. A bomber jacket, like a dolman bomber jacket made of fabrics. And then the top is, like, this little, like, crop top, almost bikini top, really, that just tied in the back that was reversible. So one side was, like, a floral print, and the other side was, like, a yellow geographic print. And then the dolman jacket had a couple patterns going on as well. And Christina, like, took that off halfway down. What did we think of Margarita's?
I liked it from the waist up. Like, I really liked the jacket she made. And I don't know, like, the top was, like, there's not much there, you know, because it is essentially, like, a bra. But I felt like it looked really sporty and, like, went well with that jacket that she made. And, like, I don't know, it just looked good on that model. But the pants, I didn't really like the pants. Like, the fit was just so weird. And then she paired them with, like, slip-on shoes.
Yeah, but she said Christina did not want heels or a skirt.
I know, but I didn't like the way the pants looked with that shoe.
Let's not strike the shoes too hard. It is Tracy Ponies.
No, but I mean, like, even something, like, with laces, like, more of a sneaker.
True.
Not slip-on, like, I don't know, just something else I feel like would have worked better. What do you think?
I think the judges hinted at this, and it just feels really backup dancer from the 90s to me, or, like, early 2000s. Like, to me, this looks like something that J-Lo would have worn to, like, the 2001, like, VMAs. And it looks good. Like, the model has a very athletic body. It looks good. It's just dated.
Yeah.
Like you said, I liked the jacket. I thought the streetwear challenge, we'd get him another million jacket. And I'm a jacket person. Last season, they went a little heavy and a little weird on some of the jackets. But I was like, it's streetwear. I want denim. I want jackets. I want cool kind of, like, straps and stuff. And I just got really weird things. So I liked the jacket. The top's a little small to me, I think. But, yeah, pairing it with these, like, the white pants. It's just, that immediately takes us, like, dancer, like Jessica Alba, like, in, like, Honey, or, like, Miami.
Britney Spears wears them in her Baby One More Time video.
Yeah, I bet. She loves this outfit. Margarita chose her for critique in the bottom.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Botany, who we heard barely anything from, and her model was Monique. And they went with kind of an African theme with very contrasting kind of patterns, and then, like, a headpiece that was, like, tied in a bow, which we've seen Botany wear herself before. And she dressed pretty similarly to this for the runway, which I think was clever. So this is, like, a pink and blue and yellow patterned off the shoulder ruffled top, paired, like, crop top, paired with, like, a pencil skirt that looks like panels of different fabrics, I believe. And then one of the fabrics was brought into, like, the head wrap that then had, like, a bow in the front. What did we think of Botany's?
I really like the look, but I feel like this was totally the wrong challenge for it. Like, to me, this didn't read as streetwear at all. But this is, like, what I've been waiting for from Botany. Like, I feel like this has finally kind of shown, like, her style more into it. Like, I don't know. I really like that aspect, but I just felt like this tight dress, like, I don't know, didn't really read as streetwear to me. What do you think?
I agree. I think it's the boldness of the tops pattern, those like yellow and pink kind of circles or flowers, takes it a slightly different spot. But I like that Bodney is like one of the few designers who's still working with patterns.
Yeah.
And so that's what I like the most about this look. While I don't think it's quite right for this challenge and I'm not 100% in love with it, keep playing with patterns. Like, very few people on this season are. So if you have that skill, you know, bring out your inner Dom Streeter and let's see those pattern plays. Like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
She was just safe, though. Next up, we had Amy, whose model was Marsha. And she put down, I think it's navy, it might be black, like this kind of off, like scoop neck, off the shoulder dress. And then it has like this like kind of black crinkly jacket. I completely forgot all about this jacket. There's a couple jackets. What do we think of Amy's?
To me, this one was just okay. Like, I didn't feel like there was really that much to it. You know, it's just a plain black dress and then a black jacket. Like, it was nice to see, like, a jacket with the dress. But, I don't know. I didn't feel like it was super exciting. To me, it was just, like, safe. What do you think?
I agree. I feel like Amy's been turning out things that are, like, kind of they transform or there's, like, some unique detail. But other than the textile chosen for the jacket, there's nothing really unique here.
No.
And I don't really like seeing dresses as streetwear that are so short. Because I'm just like, what's the reality of actually walking several blocks in a super short dress? Chafing. I don't care how, like, skinny your model is. Like, super short skirts, that's just the reality. But she was safe as well. Next up, we had Samantha. And she was really excited about this challenge. And her model was Jasmine, or Jasmine. And Jasmine really wanted to work with her and was very excited. And so what they ended up putting down was, and we learned Samantha used to make Lolita fashion, and this is very Lolita, but with a bit of like a grunge twist, kind of. So, as with all Samantha things, there's a lot going on, a lot of details. It's got like a black Peter Pan collar, black mesh over a dark patterned little shirt top with like a cupcake skirt with ruffles, and then underneath that was another layer of a ruffled skirt, and then underneath that was like a plaid skirt, and then she paired it with like a little black vest, and then the back detail of the shirt had like suspenders, so it was like an apron dress kind of. What did we think of Samantha's?
I mean, she did like a really good job with it, but I think it was Zach, like, when they were critiquing, he said that she's become very one note. And I would say, yeah, I'll believe that to be true as well. I don't know. I don't have a ton to say about it. Like, it was just okay. It was well made, but it wasn't anything like that really stood out to me. What do you think?
I agree. I mean, it fits the model well, and the model seemed happy with it, which is important for this particular challenge. But it looks so much like her other stuff, and yet it's not pushing it. So, like, Brandon's stuff looks a lot like his other pieces, which just shows, like, that's his, like, designer, like, vision. But at least it's pushing it. It's not always in a direction I want to go, but it is something new. This is not. And it looks very derivative of other things she's made, and that layering technique seems to be her, like, one technique. Who knew Zach Posen knew so much about Lolita fashion? That kind of shocked me. Like, as they were, like dissecting this garment, and it had, like, multiple layers, he's like, that's so when they sit and cross their legs, you can see the layers, or, like, all these different things. I'm like, dang, I know Zach knows fashion, but I didn't think that also went into, like, the Lolita, or, like, Samantha even said it, like, she leaned a little more Japanese with the style of Lolita, so. But she was chosen for critique in the bottom. And then last up, we had Kenya, whose motto was Sanita. And she put down a green, or I'm sorry, let's start at the top. It's this white and black patterned kind of loose blouse with like petals up at the shoulder, paired with a green vest, second vest, maybe vests are making a comeback, like emerald green vest, open in the front, and then these green long pants. Tight to the leg, I would say, but not like suction cup. Right. What do we think of Kenya's?
I liked it, but this was another one that I didn't feel like read super strong as streetwear. Like, this was kind of like businessy to me, which I wouldn't. I mean, you can wear that on the street, of course, but I don't know. To me, they're not the same thing. Like, I liked it though. Like, I did like the print, even though they said like it was very 101 Dalmatians. Like, I don't know. I liked it with the green. That's a combo I would do personally.
You would.
What do you think?
I wanted to like this more than I did because I like the silhouette. And I like how it makes the model look and how the model reacted to it. I think it would have been more success. And I like the green with the black and white. I think it's funny that the model's name is Sanita and the wife in 101 Dalmatians' name is Anita. So I found that a little on the nose. But I think this would have been more successful for me personally if either the vest or the pants were a different color.
Yeah.
I think the green with green is very matchy, very like 80s businesswoman.
Yeah.
And then with like the pedal shoulder pad kind of thing. If one of them was black, or even if the color was like a red or like a royal blue maybe. But to me, this doesn't look like you're walking on the street with it. It looks nice. The shape is good. Kenny's construction is always amazing. But either like a vertical stripe print or maybe a different type of textured print than like colored Dalmatian splotches.
Right.
But she was chosen for critique in the top. So that meant that our top was Kenya, Sean, and Kentaro. And it turned out Kentaro was the winner. Did we agree with that?
Totally.
His looked the most fashionable and new. Like,
yeah.
In a good way.
I feel like his was like the most streetwear too, even. Like, I don't know. Yeah. All around. I'm happy. I'm happy for him.
Well, and him and his model really worked together well. So there was no like drama there or issues of like, well, it looked good, but it wasn't what she wanted. Like, they both were really happy with it. And it photographed really well, and it still looked good on the runway as well. So that meant that Sean and Kenya were safe. I still want Kenya to win one. I feel like she gets close a lot, but I'll give it to Kentaro this time. I think he did deserve it. So that means our bottom was Claire, Margarita, and Samantha. And they were all critiqued a little bit for different things. And it turned out that Tim brought up the twin drama a bit, that the pants they loved on Sean's look were sewn largely by Claire. And the judges seemed troubled by this. I think, like, Zach Posen was like, I smell something and I don't like it. But they didn't do anything about it. And I expected at the runway, after they looked at things close up, we would hear about it. Like, they would tell Sean, like, don't rely on your sister. They would tell Claire, like, do your own work. But they didn't. They didn't say a single thing about it. So I don't know what that means. So Claire was safe right off the bat with no further discussion, which is, I think, the second time now.
Yeah.
And then, so the bottom was Margarita and Samantha. Margarita kind of threw Christina, her model, under the bus a bit by saying, well, she didn't want heels, she didn't want a skirt, this is exactly what she wanted, which they had been getting along so well, and Christina was like a little taken aback by that it's like, we both agreed on this look, and we both liked it, and now because the judges don't, you're throwing me under the bus, which is a shitty thing to do. I don't like to curse, but that's a shitty thing to do.
It is.
You know, especially when Marguerite was like, oh, we could be friends, like, and then it's like, immediately throws you under the bus.
Yeah.
And then Samantha, they were just like, you know, this looks like everything else you've made. Lolita fashion isn't exactly modern, you know, do something else. Yeah. And it turned out Samantha went home.
Yeah.
How do we feel about that? Did you agree, or did you think it should have been Margarita or Claire? Or someone else?
Well, I mean, yeah, this one is tough because I didn't really agree with the choices. Like, I would never have put Sean in the top.
No.
And, like, for the bottom, I don't know. I mean, yeah, Samantha has been very one note, and so, like, I guess I feel like she wasn't going to make it to the end anyway, so I'm okay with her going home this week. But I didn't feel like hers was the worst garment. Like, that wasn't why she got sent home. She just got sent home because she keeps doing the same thing.
Right. Well, I think Tim said that, like, no one's was awful this week, which is hard because you still have to eliminate somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, he did say that. I don't know. I guess we'll just leave it at that. Like, I don't know who I would have put in the bottom. Honestly, Brandon. But, like, he couldn't have gone home this week. Oh well, let's move on.
Yep. I probably would have sent Margarita home just based off her attitude.
Yeah.
Throwing the model under the bus. So I only have 3 quotes, and then we'll get to next week, and then I think we're done here. So, these aren't great quotes either. I'll be straight up. They're not my favorite, but you gotta have a few. So early on, we had Lyris talking about the look and how she acts every day in her life, and she was like, you got to make the world your runway. And Lyris is not the youngest model out there. I think she's in her 30s. So I just like that like as a businesswoman, and she is her own brand, like that's very true for her. Like you got to make the world your runway. You got to find work, on your own. Next up, we had Tim talking about Kenya's look. Is it fashion, or are you just making clothes?
Yeah, that was a really good one.
Yeah, and I feel like every season someone mentions this at some point, that there's somebody who has great construction or good skills in one way or another, but they're always, but she ended up turning it around. I think Kenya's was fine as a construction part. Then my last quote this week was Nina about Samantha's look, and said she could be standing on her head and it would still have no effect. Turns out Nina hates Lolita fashion.
Yeah.
Despite some of the youthful items she wears herself, and she's also worn some Peter Pan collars. Not Lolita. No. She's not interested, even if you stand on your head.
Nope.
So, do you have any final statements this week?
I do not. I mean, I will say it was adorable at the beginning when the models were trying to teach Tim how to do a selfie. And, he made, a little comment where he was like, how do you, push it while you take it? Or, something like that. And I feel you, Tim. I have the same question, honestly.
Well, especially group selfies are different. Group selfies can be a bit more of a challenge than when it's just yourself, doing duck face in your car. It's a little different. Right. All right, so next time, it looks like we're going to have our menswear challenge, which is interesting because at the beginning of the season, I was like, we've got a lot of menswear designers. Something fishy there. And now here's a menswear look. Hard to say if it'll be on men models or not, but I'm assuming so. And that it will be our second team challenge where they will be in teams of 2.
Yeah.
And from what it looks like, Brandon and Katara are together, as are the twins. So we'll see how the teams come about. If the twins randomly get selected on the same team again, I'm calling BS.
Oh, absolutely.
But otherwise, we'll have to see next week. But otherwise, I think that's it for us.
Yeah. I mean, one last question to think about. Do you think Brandon's gonna make a crop top for a man next week?
I hope he does. I hope so. One note crop top, oversized pony.
I hope so too.
Man crop top. Yeah. Man rompers and crop tops. Let's hope so. All right. Otherwise, I think that's it for us, and we'll see you guys next week.